Hello and welcome to the Stellar Devils preview show. This week, myself, Graham Munsey, joined by Dave Harlow, as we look ahead to a slightly different timed fixture, a Saturday 2:30 p.m. tapes up fixture as the Belle Vue Colts head to Armadale to take on our Devils. Dave, it's an unusual timing for a meeting, but I guess there was no point with a Friday night meeting this week. Some other things that people may be able to hear from your voice. You've enjoyed the start of the Euros so far. No point going up against that Scotland-England match. So it's a Saturday afternoon and an enthralling looking fixture ahead.
No, it definitely makes sense not to race on Friday night. So a Saturday opportunity for the boys, and given that most of these guys at national league level probably have full-time jobs anyway, it might have want to be a Saturday. So that's a small bonus on some levels, but a half-two start gives different challenges. Probably if it's as warm as it was last weekend, perhaps a little bit dusty or whatever, but we'll see how we go on Saturday. But Belle Vue Colts coming to Armadale for the first time in a competitive match.
Yep, and to look ahead to the fixture, we'll speak to Devils Tom Muller, of course, a former Colt as well. And as Dave mentioned, it is the competitive debut at Armadale of the Belle Vue Colts. But a team off that name did head north a few years ago, and when we delve into Mike Hunter's blast from the past, we'll see Heat 15 from that match. Dave, it's after an encouraging start to the season, it's been a tough few weeks for the Devils, and that's maybe always going to be the case when you're on the road for most of it. Obviously, two defeats. Firstly, or laterally, sorry, as we look back kind of to the most recent one, a pretty heavy defeat down at Newcastle, and then the week prior to that, a defeat at Leicester also. So I guess the Devils will be looking to get back and looking forward to getting back to home comforts this weekend.
Yeah, as you say, a difficult couple of matches for the Devils on the road, and so they'll be delighted to get back home to try and pick up the win again and make up for those, and for a couple of them maybe the home comforts as well. George has had a couple of nasty falls and a couple of injuries, a couple of other fallers, so hopefully they're right back at it, and we're going to go for Saturday and an opportunity to go again. We've seen Nathan Greaves start to have a really good weekend with the Monarchs, so part of that, getting that win at Eastbourne on Saturday was excellent, and so great opportunity for the Stellar Devils, so hopefully we grasp it in both hands.
Yeah, and of course, for anyone that's not seen them since the last time they're at home, there has been a slight change in the riding order. New averages have come in. So Tom Woolley and Danny Phillips have sort of switched. Tom goes to 5, Danny in at 3, although that's not an enforced change. That's just for the makeup of the team. The one enforced change does see George Rotherley move from reserve, and that means it's the Muller boys. Lewis drops down to join his brother Gregor. So the Muller brothers at reserve. And I guess for the Devils, having George Rotherley as that weapon at reserve was key to some of the early scores. But for these guys, it's about progression. So for him getting into the main body of the team, he'll be looking to kick on. And the opposite for Lewis, after a tough start to the season at number 4, a chance to get some confidence at reserve.
Yeah, I was caught out by when in Newcastle saw George was racing at number 4. Didn't realise it changed quite so frequently in the National League. But I guess when you've got a season with so many starting on that 3-point average, and the Belle Vue side are the same with 4 guys under 4 points in their team, that it is opportunity to get that rotation, give the guys opportunity at reserve, and for Lewis and Gregor, they'll have that heat too, and potentially, especially Lewis in particular, have a couple of easier rides, and potentially, and I think they were starting to show some signs in the last few meetings they've been involved in, but that's just the makeup of Speedway. We'll see what happens, and time for George to stand up as well, and hopefully the home comforts will mean less trips to the fence, and 4 full laps, please, George, on Saturday afternoon.
Yep, and one man we kind of touched on a little bit earlier that's really kicked on quite well this season, and has moved into number 5 is Tom Woolley. Obviously, his average up to 8.4 now. A very good start to the season by Tom, and I caught up with him a little bit earlier on to see how he was looking ahead to this fixture against his old team. So here we are, joined on the Stellar Devils preview show by Tom Woolley. Tom, thank you very much for taking the time to join us. We look ahead to a big match for the Devils at home to Belle Vue on Saturday, an unusual Saturday afternoon tapes up for the Devils this week, but a match you must be looking forward to as a former Colt.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be something. Feel a little bit different racing on a Saturday lunchtime instead of a Friday evening, but I know it's something that I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to racing against Belle Vue. I know a lot of the boys at Belle Vue and the management from my time there, and I get on really well with them. So it's something that I'm looking forward to the challenge and giving it all we've got, really.
Yeah, and I guess one guy you'll know a little bit better than most. We see a pretty familiar surname as a guest reserve for Belle Vue. I believe it's your brother getting a bit of a ride round in the National League as well.
I do believe so. Yeah, it'll be good for him to get out in the National League and do some competitive meetings. But yeah, when the helmets come on, the competition will be there, and I'm sure he'll be there trying to beat me more than anybody else. So no, the competition will be there, and yeah, I'm glad to see him getting a ride. But yeah, when we'll be in the same heat, we won't be brothers.
And I guess it'll be. You're probably looking forward, or the whole Devils team will be looking forward to getting back to Armadale. It's been a tough few weeks, tough visits to Newcastle and Leicester, and obviously the last home match was a defeat to Newcastle. So a case of try to get back onto home shale and put a few things right.
Yeah, definitely. I think we just need to think about the first couple of meetings and take the positives from Newcastle and Leicester away, what we can. Obviously, I think we'll all enjoy going back to somewhere where we've ridden around a little bit more. I know it's quite a few of the boys haven't done much racing, including myself, and I know some of them hadn't even seen Newcastle before until we turned up. So, no, it'd be better for us to go back to somewhere where we know what we're doing, basically. And yeah, we welcome Belle Vue to hopefully to give them a good close meeting.
And you kind of touched on it there. It was something I had noticed this season, particularly obviously with the National Development League being a reduced fixtures list. There is quite a gap between fixtures. Just how difficult for that is it as a rider to try and get back into the swing of a sort of normal season when you're maybe only picking up maximum one meeting a week, maybe one meeting every couple of weeks?
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard because we was in a bit of a rhythm where we were racing each week basically, and that once a week is okay. It's better if you've got 2 a week really, but we've had a week or so where we haven't got anything, and then I think we've only got two meetings a month now for the next couple of months. It is hard to stay in the rhythm, and it works against you in both ways. If you have a real good meeting, you want to get back out there and go again. But if you have a bad meeting, you want to get out there and put things right. So it's no good for anybody really, but it is what it is. And we've got team places and we've got meetings, and we've just got to be lucky and think what we've got right now. When you see the likes of Wolverhampton and Birmingham and pausing their seasons, we've still got meetings to turn up to, so we've got to be thankful of that. And yeah, we've just got to make the best of what we've got, really.
Yeah, and overall for the Devils, is it 5, maybe 6, I forget exact off the top of my head, meetings into the season now, and you must be pretty happy with your own form. You know, it's been a good solid start to the season. There's been a few Heat 15 nominations in there, some double-digit scores home and away, so you must be pretty happy overall with how things are going personally.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've had a strong start to the season. Obviously now you just got to keep that up, and I've moved up into number 5 berth, which is always going to be harder. But it's no different to Heat 15 when I've been competing in them. So no, it's been positive, and we just need to keep going, and hopefully we can get some of the boys firing a bit better, and I think they won't be far away from some big wins around the corner.
Perfect. Well, fingers crossed that first big win happens on Saturday. As I said, 2:30 tapes up, an unusual Saturday afternoon fixture, but I don't think there was any point in going up against the England-Scotland match in the Euros. So Tom, we look forward to seeing you there, and all the best for the weekend. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Dave, Tom Wheeler there, looking forward to a weekend ahead and meeting up with some teammates, old and new, and of course the guest replacement at the reserve berth for Belle Vue, his very own brother Sam. But it sounds like Tom's out to put one over on him there. His exact words: "If we're in the same heat, we're not brothers."
Well, you know what sibling rivalries like. You certainly don't want to be beaten by your younger brother, which will be, in Tom's case, that would be it. But hopefully, the form Tom's shown you, you would think that he'll be more than capable of beating his brother, and hopefully most of the other Belle Vue riders, he has had a great start to the season and earned himself a call up to the Monarchs. Didn't quite do himself justice that night, but if he keeps going the way he is at National League, he will get more opportunities at that Premier level. But no, it's good to hear him keen to go and ready to go for Saturday.
Yep, and it's an intriguing looking fixture, as was said. The Belle Vue team, it's I'm not actually sure what to make of it. Obviously, normally you would have the youthful, potential in the McGurk brothers. Obviously, Sam missing out, Harry still in, but the guys at the top end, maybe a couple of guys looking to make their way back into the sport. I'm thinking mostly Jack Parkinson, Blackburn, and Benji Compton, that have both had a spell out for one reason or another, and looking to make their name back in the sport. And I guess with the British Speedway as it is and rider shortages, etc., a good chance for these guys to put themselves in the shop window as we start to see some Premiership and Championship rising star places change.
Yeah, no, it's interesting in Connor Coles as well. He's now been around a few seasons.
Yeah.
So a couple of these guys there that really would like to be racing in the Championship and probably should be after now, but after the amount of experience they've had, but they can take shape, go again, and they've obviously got the fantastic setup in the National Speedway Stadium in Manchester for their home matches this season. So it's again, I'm using the word opportunity quite a lot at this league, because that's exactly what it is. And as you say, they've got those three riders that are all capable, and certainly in Benji and Connor's case, have beat Armadale and scored points before at that higher level. And the young lads who, as you say, unfortunately Sam's not here, but they both scored really well in the two matches Belle Vue have had this season. So so it will be interesting to see how they go on, and a different challenge for the Devils, shall we say.
Yeah, and you do wonder as the season progresses what kind of difference that'll make. Obviously, you mentioned it's a condensed fixture list, which does mean teams are at different stages. I mean, this will be the Devils' sixth match, I think. Meanwhile, it's only Belle Vue's third. So for the guys that are doubling up or are in some of the youth championships or other development schemes, they still will get in track time. But for some of the guys, look at the Belle Vue team, maybe like Ben Woodall and Paul Bowen, it's probably been quite a slow start to the season, and you just wonder if that race sharpness will give some of the lower sort of guys in the Devils order a chance to shine.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much racing these guys would actually get. I mean, we obviously will see Lewis and Gregor racing for the West Lothian Wildcats on a Friday night as well. So they've been keeping themselves active, but it is a challenge. You only have one or two matches a month, but it's a challenge that they need to accept and get on with. I imagine for, like, I think Paul Bowen's maybe been Armadale once and Ben never before, so it'll be if they've been having press and practice at Belle Vue and their only other meet was at Berwick, coming to Armadale will be a bit of a culture shock for them on Saturday afternoon. But the opportunity is there, and they'll look at the Devils' score so far and they'll see opportunity. They see that there's some of the Devils aren't quite up there yet, so a good chance to go and experience something new and pick up some points. That's the way they should be looking at it.
Joined on the Stellar Devils preview show by Belle Vue Colts, Connor Coles. Connor, thank you very much for your time, and you looking forward to a trip back up to Armadale this weekend?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back there and hopefully have a good meeting in the National League. I had a couple half decent ones in the Championship, so would like to carry on my performance from then.
Yeah, and obviously it's been quite a quiet start to the season for the Colts, and I think it's only 2 matches so far, and both of them obviously one at home and one at Berwick. So it'll be a bit of a culture shock, I guess, for a few of the guys that haven't been riding too much to go from those kind of tracks to the tighter confines, shall we say, Armadale.
Yeah, definitely, and because they've only just dropped down to the National League, a lot of our riders probably haven't had the chance to get round there or race round there at least. So I think it'll be a tricky one, but I'm sure all of the boys are capable of getting around there fast enough. And
how have the Colts team been gelling so far? Obviously, there's quite a mix of experience, guys like yourself, Jack and Benji at the top end, and then sort of the younger guys coming through, the two McGurk boys at the bottom, albeit I think Sam misses out on Saturday due to a knock. Is it a good mix in the pits, having the guys that have maybe been there before and been at a higher level, helping the younger guys coming through?
Yeah, I think so. I get on well with them all, and we all have a good click. And we all just try and pass on what knowledge we can, and just try and help everyone out.
Yep. And from your own personal point of view, it's kind of the goal this season. I mean, we see the Rising Star programme, and we see guys like Jack getting back into the Championship. Is that kind of where you want to be? Are you viewing the National League as a place to go out, put some big points on the board, and if any changes need to be made in the divisions further up the chain, just to remind everyone that you're there?
Yeah, definitely. I've had a mate of mine has lent me an engine for the rest of the season, and I've had a good go on it. Had a few clutch problems. I put them right, and I guested at Leicester and had a good match there. So I'm hoping I can keep banging in a few good scores on that and get another spot in the Championship. But it just seems that no one's picking up the phone.
Yeah, and how do you find it though? I mean, I know we've spoken to a few riders in the National League, and with being a shortened season, obviously with COVID and also less teams in the league, how do you keep yourself kind of race fit when you could be going 2-3 weeks without a match?
Well, there's not really anything that can get you as race fit as riding the bike, but I do try and do quite a bit of cycling, and I go to the gym and stuff, but nothing is going to build up the strength to hold you on the bike as much as sitting on the bike would do.
Yep, and as you mentioned, we've had 2 Colts matches so far. Some good performance at home, a tough place to go in Berwick. So is the aim for the Colts this weekend that first away win of the season on the board?
Yeah, definitely. We want to go and win everywhere. I think we have the potential to do so. We just need to have a good night on the night.
Perfect. Well, Connor, thank you very much for joining us here on the Stellar Devils preview show, and all the best for the weekend. It'll be great to see you back at Armadale, bud.
Thank you. Can't wait.
We touched on it earlier on. This is the competitive debut, or the league debut of the Belle Vue Colts at Armadale. But a few short years ago, we saw a challenge match, which was the Monarchs against a Belle Vue Colts select team. We delve back into Mike Hunter's archives now. The blast from the past is Heat 15 from the meeting. We're all square going into it, Dave, as Jai Etheridge and Max Clegg for the Monarchs. We're up against Rob Shuttleworth and Dan Bewley for the Colts. Enjoy.
Heat 15, last heat decider. The scores are level, and the men who will decide it: Rob Shuttleworth, Jai Etheridge, Dan Bewley and Max Clegg. And Max gets a terrible start from the outside. Etheridge trying to hold Bewley around the first turn, but he can't. Dan Bewley leads the way. Now Max is going to try and work his way around the outside. His partner should let him through. No, he didn't. If Max was to have any chance there, he needed to get into second spot. Here he comes now, but he's got too much of a deficit, I think. Well, Dan Bewley has really put on a show. Nobody's going to catch him now. It just depends if anything goes wrong for him. but he's killed off the opposition in the first half lap every time, really. Jai's ridden a terrible last bend and the Monarchs team lose. So I don't know what Jai was doing there. He went in too tight, he headed straight for the fence and down he came. So the Belle Vue Colts take a 4-2 and win the match by 2 points. And there's the maximum man. 6 races, 6 wins. Not the first time he's done that this season, but a terrific performance really by Dan Bewley. Quite remarkable. That was his toughest race on paper, but he killed them off right from the start.
All those years ago, Dave, and I think Jai Etheridge would still claim that Armadale isn't his favourite track. How he ended up in that one, it's not too dissimilar to see that even nowadays. But that's a story for a different day.
A very young Dan Bewley showing the potential that he's really building into. So it'll be interesting for
Yeah, and of course, Dave, Devils against the Belle Vue Colts, 2:30 tapes up on Saturday at Armadale. Tickets are available on the website, and as always, if you can't make it along, do purchase your stream. Can't think of much else anyone would be doing on a Saturday afternoon. If you're looking for an excuse not to go outside and cut the grass, not to make that trip to B&Q, not to go and see the in-laws, what better excuse could you need than, I need to watch the Speedway. So pick up your tickets or pick up your stream and watch us. And Dave, another exciting thing that's just been announced. We record this on Tuesday evening. It was announced today that Saturday we'll also see the official opening of the Monarchs Speedway Academy, the track that anyone that's been at Armadale or watched the stream will have seen taking shape on the centre green, is now ready to go, and a big milestone for the club as a whole.
It's huge. It's huge for the future of Speedway in East of Scotland, as we like to say within the Fans Trust side of things. It's having the Devils teams there is going to be massive, but we want the Devils teams to be full of young local talent, and we only get young local talent if we give them the opportunity to practice, and there isn't that much opportunity. So hopefully this track will provide that opportunity, and we will see lots of young budding Andrew Tully, William Lawson, all these kind of guys that came through and were the basis of a really successful period in late 2000s and early 2010s. But forget about winning trophies in 10 years' time. Let's just see some young lads out on track and experiencing Speedway. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see, Dave. Every one of us knows a local politician or a Z-list celebrity that the old joke would be at the opening of a packet of crisps. So we'll see if anyone's been enticed along for the ribbon cutting on Saturday. So a big day ahead on Saturday for the Devils and for the Edinburgh club as a whole. We do hope you can join us. As I say, tickets are still available. If you can't make it along, pick up that stream. But until next time, thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.